Hey, I'm Mr. Khan. Welcome to a vlog. Basically saying that I'm back now, and that from this week onwards, normal service will resume on this channel. So, infrequent uploads, and we're gonna guess when the next one will appear. I hope I'm a bit better with that in the next couple of months, though, in the summer months. I hope you have a bit of a schedule so you'll know when the next upload will appear. But it was a quiet May for the channel. The only real videos that went up, or the only videos that went up actually, were the Forza Horizon 2 Beat Playground Games co-op bucket list, which I did with my friend Paul, and I hope he did enjoy those videos. They were very annoying to make in the end, as I think it was challenge 10, which took like, I have no idea how many hours, must have been like 20 hours I think, or something ridiculous. That is so hard, that challenge to coordinate between two players, but we did it in the end. I hope you enjoyed those bucket list videos that we did, and it's not the last you're perhaps going to see of Forza Horizon 2 on this channel, but you're not going to see a lot more Forza Horizon 2 on this channel. But the reason those were going up in the first 3 weeks of May is because if you missed the vlog from April, unfortunately, about 6 weeks ago now, my grandmother passed away, and so we had to rush over to the Philippines to be with her family and to be there for her funeral, and that took up the first half of the 2.5 week trip, which took up the first half of May. And yeah, it was just, emotional on the first half to that trip, especially on the day, as it really did strike me that, whoa, I'm saying goodbye to her. I'm never gonna see her again, at least, physically. Of course, spiritually she'll always be in our hearts, but yeah, it was just a very, emotional time. And the second half of the trip was thankfully a bit more light, a bit more fun, and basically just hung out with the part of the family which look after us over there. I can never be thankful enough for the way they accommodate us over there, take care of us, and keep us safe as well, especially me, as I'm going to stand out over there, being a bit of a foreigner as well, being a bit taller than the average Filipino, being a bit paler. I didn't manage to top at the town as successfully this time around, but touch wood, nothing has ever happened to us over there, nothing ever will. But yeah, the second half of the trip, we celebrate my birthday, and that was great. That was a marvellous day, as we went to a restaurant, and I'll say for the equivalent of 20 quid we had unlimited rice and the choice of like 8 or 9 different dishes. It was fantastic. We had like pork, we had chicken, fried chicken, we had like soup, we had these different sauces, we had fried vegetables, and lots of different spices in those dishes. I do love the spices in Filipino dishes, but yeah, it's just marvelous meal, marvelous day as well. And at the start, the second half of the trip was election day over there on the 9th of May. The landslide favourite, Rodrigo Duterte, won by over 6 million votes, and I've seen today he's already pissed off the media before he gets sworn in as president on the 30th of June. So it's going to be very interesting 6 years with him in charge of the country. Has in the Philippines, it's got an American system. It's got president, vice president, senate, and those are local councilmen and mayor, and all of those positions were up, on the 9th of May. And in the constitution, then the president's only allowed 1 6-year term, and so Duterte built his campaign trail on tackling crime and corruption. He said he'd do it in 3 to 6 months. If he does it in 3 to 6 years, it would be a fantastic achievement. He's a bit of a divisive figure, but I learned that he's a very good politician over there, and that yes, he has a bit of foot in mouth syndrome, and that's where John Oliver compared him to Donald Trump in that Last Week Tonight segment, which went up while I was away, but I watched it, and he called him the Trump of the East, which is a bit of a lazy comparison. You've compared the whole of of them together, where Duterte is done a bit more, I feel, than Trump, who's been a good and bad businessman throughout his time. But everyone talks about him, so he's obviously done something right. But same with Duterte in the campaign trail. He's kind of the alternative candidate compared to the other 5 who come from political dynasties over there with a bit more of a well-up upbringing, while he came from a political family but a bit of a lesser upbringing. And he's known for his foot and mouth syndrome because he kind of said some horrible things on his campaign trail, and as I said, made some ridiculous claims as well. And he admits it though. He's a big talker. He kind of overblows things, and he sometimes, says things for effect. I think he said as well. So yeah, that's perhaps why he's like that. But the major reason why he's kind of voted in as well, apart from being an alternative, is his record as mayor of Davao City, or Davao City. I apologise for my terrible pronunciation. The 3rd biggest city in the Philippines, in the south of the country, and for 22 years he was mayor. And apparently when he came in, it's kind of a laws and displays, lots of corruption, which is unfortunately a major problem in the Philippines. And during his time as mayor, he really cleaned up the city. Apparently it's now one of the safest places in the country. Apparently lots of Americans go over there to holiday, some even live there as well. And he was known as he's nicknamed the Punisher because of how he cleaned up the city. And it's going to be interesting to see how he takes that nationwide, as he intends to tackle crime and corruption, because unfortunately there's some very hostile places in the Philippines, particularly in the south. And so yeah, good luck to him to clean up those places. But yeah, that's a little bit about the election. There's some debate about the vice president race, because Lenny Robredo won by around 250,000 votes, but apparently there's corruption, because as I said, voting machines, it was the first time they used electronic voting, and there were gremlins in a couple of machines. But yeah, apparently there might have been corruption in the vice president race, and the favourite was Marcos Jr., and he was a very popular candidate. He's part of the Senate, and it seems like he lost. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they sort that out. And voted to the Senate was Manny Pacquiao, the boxer. So he might have the very real possibility that he could run for president in 6 years or in 12 years. That's a bit of a scary thought, but yeah, that's a little bit about the election day. I don't want to bore you about it, but yeah, very interesting president. The Philippines now has much more interesting than the outgoing president, who is Aquino III, and he came in very popular, but he's been up and down, a bit mixed opinion about him. Hopefully Duterte is a bit more forceful as a president, not as the Punisher, but as actually leading the country. But yeah, that's the trip in general. I was very sad to leave it in the end, and very sad to going there as well. Very difficult circumstances going there, but in the end, a very good trip, and I'm ready to go back there. Once we have the money, of course, once we've saved up, maybe go back there next year. But we will see. So that was a trip to the Philippines, and that was May basically. For the channel, I haven't put a video up since we got back 2 weeks ago now, because I've basically been just catching up on everything and just getting back to normal over here. But from this week onwards, for the rest of the year, basically for the channel, is basically what I said at the beginning of the year. In that vlog, I want to show you some more sim racing. I can show you Dirt Rally, so I might show you that in the next week. I can show you perhaps Automobilista and Formula Truck 2013 from Reza, because I'm setting up OBS, so hopefully I can record those. But I'm having difficulty setting up my wheel with R Factor 2 and Assetto Corsa, and they've got some fantastic mods that I want to show you. It's really interesting on PC that R Factor 2 is setting up for modding, but Assetto Corsa has way more mods. It's actually kind of the mod center, it feels like, on PC, and it's going to be interesting to see that game go on console later this year, because of course console doesn't really have modding. It's going to see how successful that game is on console. I'm not really sure how successful it will be now. But yeah, I really want to show you those two games on this channel, but unfortunately I'm in difficulty setting up my wheel with it, so we'll see if I can figure that out. And Race Room Racing Experience, I want to show you that, but for some reason every time I install it, it's difficult changing the settings, because for some reason the first screen that shows up, let's see, there's the screen, it shows up here, so I'm trying to click on the settings but I can't get to it, and so every time I'm having to uninstall it because I can't get the fucking screen to change the settings so I can actually set it to the right aspect ratio and stuff. And it's just a bit of a mess, unfortunately, trying to install Race Room. So I can see if I fix that, and hopefully I'll show you that, because that's got some fantastic content as well. But those are the sim games I want to show you. I want to show you some MotoGP 15 in the run up to Vento City game coming out in less than a month now. That really has snuck up on us. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game. Then maybe F1 as well, because we've got some F1 2016 news finally. And I want to talk about the Cody's F1 games, and perhaps not getting F1 2016 on launch because Cody's track record. I want to actually see how it is before I get it. And of course, I'm really hoping it actually does work out this time around. It actually has online, it actually has, you know, good single player and no bugs at all, or virtually no bugs at all. And yeah, there's the weekly sprint as well, kind of falling behind on that, but there's perhaps one video per month for some random races online. And then there's Power Oversteer, and that's something I really want to perhaps make weekly on this channel for the rest of the year, because I came up with some good ideas while I was away, and of course there's been lots to cover in May as well, particularly this past weekend, the best weekend of the year to be a motorsport fan, because there's like World Touring Cars, the 24 hours of the Nürburgring, IndyCar, F1, NASCAR with Coca-Cola 600, of course Xfinity as well, and then there was the World Rally Course at Linden Hill, there was World Superbikes at Donington, there was British GT, there was F3, there was almost everything going on this past weekend. It was fantastic to just sit on my ass all day and watch motorsport. Well, 2 days and watch motorsport. It was brilliant, and that's basically what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks anyway as well. But yeah, there's lots to cover in the month of May review for IndyCar, and the Mazda Road to Indy coming later this week. There's going to be a preview of the Draw in Detroit happening this weekend. Tomorrow, probably Friday though, for IndyCar. I would have covered IMSA as well, but I've actually fallen behind on the season, because I remember watching Long Beach, the excellent 24 hours of Daytona, the 12 hours of Sebring, but I didn't watch the races in Laguna Seca. Haven't really been keeping up with the news, of course, because I've been away. So yeah, I would have covered IMSA as well in that preview, but it's only going to be IndyCar I'm going to be previewing for the Draw in Detroit on Friday, and that's happening this weekend with races on Saturday and Sunday. So, you know, another packed weekend of motorsport going on, and yeah, lots of ideas for Power Oversteer. So hopefully I can put those out, as I said, perhaps weekly going forward. But it's a busy time for IndyCar. There's another race in the following week, and it's the longest race of the year, the Firestone 600 at the Texas Motor Speedway. So yeah, lots of Power Oversteer covering IndyCar, but Power Oversteer is not just about IndyCar, you know, it's about rallying, it's meant to be about all kinds of motorsport, and that really hasn't been at the moment, so hopefully I can diversify it over this year. But I've rambled on long enough, I've rambled on much longer than intended, so yeah, this is just an update for basically saying that, yeah, now I'm back, I'm fatter than ever, really got to work on that the rest of the year, and hopefully I can work on lots of content for this channel as well for the rest of the year. So now for watching, and I will see you next time.